I don't think you'll remember this, but I ran into you at the Talent Hotel at WrestleMania 32,
Okay.
Dallas. I was hanging out with Dolph Ziggler, and he was like, "Oh, do you know Broski?"
Yeah.
Which is funny to me that everyone calls you Broski.
Some people still do, yeah.
And I was like, "You're in the ladder match tomorrow, right?" And the way that we talked about it, it's like you were just like, "Yeah, I guess I'm doing that thing."
Yeah.
Did you not know?
I knew.
Oh, you did know.
I knew, yeah.
You knew you were going to win the Intercontinental Championship.
So if you want the whole backstory.
Let's give it to me.
So at that time, I was also going to NXT on my off days to try to get this Hype Bros thing, me and Mojo.
Yeah.
But then I was still going to Raw, SmackDown, and before Raw and SmackDown, they were filming whatever it was, main event, superstars, whatever. And this goes back to the always ready and the three things I can control. Forget who I was wrestling, but the next day at SmackDown, I heard that Vince McMahon was in his dressing room, his office, whatever, before Raw, eating a steak or whatever. I just looked up and I was on main event. He said, "Why aren't we doing something with this guy?"
Wow.
And then a couple weeks later, I heard I was on this internal list to be in the ladder match. I'm like, what, me? Like, I'm not even on TV. Like, I'm not doing anything. And then, of course, the next week I heard I'm off the list. But it was cool to be considered, right?
Yeah.
And so Pac, Neville, was going to be the last guy in that ladder match. He, breaks his ankle or something on a Monday. And Tuesday, I found everyone I could. Road Dogg specifically, who was, high up on the riding team at the time. And I just spilled my guts to him on why I deserve to be in that match over anybody. And one thing that I said, which was not a planned line, it just came out, was that I never heard my music play at WrestleMania. And he later told me that line is what made him go to bat for me. Because I'd been, some run-ins with Edge and Undertaker, every gimmick battle royal under the sun, the Team Johnny versus Team Teddy, but I never heard my music play. So the fact that I was in that ladder match to walk out, that was the win. That was a win right there. But the cherry on top was actually winning the title.
Yeah, how do you go from being in the match, not being in the match, to being back in the match, to then winning the match? How did you leapfrog over everybody?
I don't know exactly what happened, but I wasn't going to question it.
Like, that's insane.
Well, I think they wanted a surprise, shock value to start the show. And luckily, I was that guy, that underdog, And I will credit, whether it be the WWE Universe or my fans around the world, they've never turned their back on me. I don't think anyone in this business has been counted out more times and come back more times than me.
Did you know your dad was going to jump in the ring?
That I did not know either. I didn't tell him I was winning. What they do is for a WrestleMania, they'll have all the friends and family in a certain area, but they'll bring you down for that match.
Yeah.
So I won, and I think Ziggler like come on, and he just hopped the rail, and I remember looking down the ladder like, what are you doing, Dad? What are you doing? And then it was WrestleMania in Dallas. So, of course, he's wearing the WrestleMania cowboy hat, and he tries to put it on my head. I'm like, get this fucking thing off me, But looking back, so this is another story. Looking back when I got fired from WWE, it was that day everyone was getting fired. I knew it was coming. And when I got the call, actually, I got a text to call them, so I knew I was making the call to get fired. I don't have many wrestling things in my house besides my toy room, right? But other than that, it looks like a normal house. But I have this painting from Rob Schamberger of me and my dad hugging at WrestleMania. And as cheesy as it sounds, I looked at that photo with a smile and it's going to be fine, when I got fired.
Wow.
Yeah.